Now that we have come this far, let's see how we can use characters. So we have the background here. Let's create one more scene where we can change the scenes. Second scene. Now instead of exit, we'll go to second scene here and go to exit happens here. Okay. Now what we will do is we will also have, so let me create the second scene here. Let me create a second scene here um, with some background. So I will double click this one so that the second scene is ready. Now let's pull two characters now. I go to images. I see in foregrounds there are Bob standing. There is Rita standing. So I will pull Bob in three different manners. Let's say the first one, Bob standing 1 appears at L1. L1. Okay. Let's see how this works. What is L1? Now we will also say uh, in the second scene, Rita standing appears at R1. So L is left, R is right. So there are three positions on the left, 1, 2, 3, and there are three positions on the right, 1, 2, 3, from the right towards the center. So let's see how this works. So Bob has appeared here. So let's go back here and remove this continue statement. What will happen if we remove the continue statement? Now let's see. So the game started, the scene has started, the background is set. Now it is waiting for your mouse click. When I click the mouse, Bob has appeared. Now immediately after this statement, if I click, what happens is it goes to the second scene and the background is set. So that's how it works. So it goes to second scene and the background is set. Now I click and Rita standing was not present in the dictionary. That's what it says. So probably I did something wrong. Rita standing 1. This is 1. So I'll have to do this. Apologies for the confusion. So we executed this and then Rita. Now R has gone beyond the screen. So this is because the left top corner of the image is set at R1 position. So that is the problem. So let's do it at R2. So these L1 and R2 are more or less closer to each other. So R2 is approximately the right position that corresponds to L1 on the left side. So you know how to place the position here. So you can also do this appears at instead of L1, you can say 50 pixels from the right and 180 pixels from the top. How do I know this? You have to do some trial and error or at least understand what is the size of this image and then accordingly place. So if I click this, so I know approximately from 50. So if I place the image here, the image placement means it is not the center of the image, it is the left top corner of the image. So if my Bob's image is at the left top corner, approximately at this position, it almost fills my screen. You do a little trial and error, that should be fine. On the right side, you can also specify. So since it is 1920, so I will specify 1600, let's say 1608. Can I do this? Let's see. So this is more or less good. I can also change if I require. So 1600 is pretty right side. So we don't want that. We want it to be a little more inner. So let's say 1400. Does it make sense? So here I want to cheat the game. I don't want to go into this start and then I have to test the second scene, right? So what I will do is I will go here. I will go into VARs and I will say here enable cheats is equal to true. Okay. When I do this small red button appears here. That means I can cheat. So how do I cheat now? What I will do is I click this and then I will go to the second scene instead of first scene because I want to test the second scene, not the first one. So when I go to this, second scene appears like this. So you know how to test, how to directly go into second scene while developing the game. Now you can also do a little gimmick here. Instead of appears, you can say arrives from L1 to L3. I said there are only three positions, L1 to L3, L1 to L2. So you can make that arrive that way. If your computer is fast enough, this will come that way. This will give an animation kind of look. Arrives from R1 to R3, let's say. And then after this click, Bob, you can also say disappears, or you can also say vanishes. It immediately vanishes from that screen. Or you can also say Bob standing 1. Let's execute this first and we'll go to the guide once. So this is how Bob arrived, and then this is how Rita arrived. You can also arrive till C. So let Rita arrive to the center because center of the screen is more important for Rita because she is coming from the right side. Can two characters not arrive at the same time? No, they cannot arrive at the same time, but they can arrive into the scene within the same scene. So let's see. Bob arrives, Rita arrives. So this is how it is. Okay. So this is understood. I hope the characters coming from both sides can be adjusted like this. Let's go to the guide and then go to overlays and look at this. Page number 14, overlays. So what is the L1 R1 position? So as you have seen, the L1 is approximately, it is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts. The screen is divided into 8 parts. The center is center. For any image, the left top corner is what is selected to be origin or the placement point. So when I say L1 for Bob, this is the point that is calculated. It is calculated from the bottom, wherever it fills. If it crosses the top, if it crosses the top of the screen, then it is adjusted at the top of the screen. If it doesn't cross the top of the screen, then it is adjusted to the bottom of the screen. You need to understand this. So L1 for Bob is this. If your right side character is smaller, if your character is smaller, otherwise, the corresponding L1 will be here if the character is smaller. So it's based on the height of the character. If the height of the character crosses the screen to above, then it is adjusted at the top of the screen. If it is not, it is adjusted to the bottom of the screen. So this is R0. So how can I use R0? R0 is for moving away from the scene. It is not for moving into the scene. It is for moving away from the scene. So An image name can be like this with a space in between so that you can easily identify what is the emotion that the character is carrying. And then L1 to L3, or you can use uh, precise coordinates also. Okay. And then leaves. Leaves is the thing that you can use from L3 to L0, or you can say simply vanishes, or you can say simply disappears. So it works. So let's say after this happens, Bob standing 1 leaves from L3 to L0. Similarly, Rita standing 1 leaves from RC to R0. There are only certain combinations permitted which I have given in the guide. You look at this. Uh, not all combinations are permitted. So let's see. The line could not be processed. L3 to L0 is not processed. Leaves from C to R0 is not permitted, perhaps. Let's see. C to R0 is permitted. It is, for whatever reason, it's not supporting as of now. Unsupported overlay movement. C to R0 is not permitted. So let's assume that this is R2. Now R2 to R0 must be supported. Okay. So that's how you move the characters. I believe this is a defect. C to R0 is not supported. That's a defect. I will fix that in the upcoming release. But for now, you can probably use precise positions or L1, L2, L3. Most of the time, you can work with these things alone. You don't have to use any specific position. Also say, instead of this, you can simply say disappears. And then Rita disappears. So this is the key. The element is this is the key, and then this is the subsequent extension. Let's see. So Bob arrives, Rita arrives, Bob disappears, Rita disappears. So this is how you need to bring in characters or remove characters. So if your computer is not fast enough, if you think that your user's computer is not fast enough, you just use appears. That is my recommendation. Appears at L1 or L2. Appears at R3. So if we compile this, this is how it looks like. Appears, appears, disappears, disappears. Okay, that's all in this tutorial. Thanks for watching. Keep exploring.